Why do more than 60 million people travel to New York City every year? And why should you be next? Welcome to New York City, a place where skyscrapers kiss the clouds, every street corner tells a story, and no two moments ever feel the same. From the twinkling lights of Times Square to the quiet serenity of a snowy morning in Central Park, NYC is more than a city, it's a world in itself. A world where you can wake up in Little Italy, have lunch in Koreatown, and end your night at a jazz bar in Harlem. But it's not just the diversity of cultures that make this city legendary. New York is where global trends are born. From the runways of Fashion Week to the boardrooms of Wall Street, from the sound stages of Broadway to the breaking headlines of global news networks, this is the beating heart of fashion, finance, media, and art. It's a city of dreams, yes, but also of bold ambition, resilience, and reinvention. The kind of place that challenges you to dream bigger, live louder, and walk a little faster. So whether you're a wide-eyed first-timer or a seasoned explorer, get ready, because New York doesn't just welcome you, it pulls you in. This is like a free ticket. Just a like, subscribe, and a small comment helps bring the next video to you. Let's dive into the incredible layers of this city. Let's explore the wonders of New York City. New York City isn't just a destination, it's a global crossroads. Perched on the east coast of the United States, this iconic metropolis has long served as the gateway to America, a place where dreams land before they take flight. Imagine sailing into New York Harbor a century ago. The first thing millions of immigrants saw was the Statue of Liberty, her torch lighting the way to a new life. For generations, this city has stood as a symbol of hope, opportunity, and freedom. But New York's importance doesn't end at history. Today, it's one of the most strategically influential cities on Earth. It's home to the United Nations headquarters, where global diplomacy plays out. It houses Wall Street, the nerve center of the world's financial markets. Decisions made here ripple across the globe, from Tokyo to London to Sao Paulo. This is a city where the world converges, and where the future is often decided. And speaking of global reach, New York is one of the most well-connected cities on the planet. With three major airports, John F. Kennedy International LaGuardia and Newark Liberty, the city is a launchpad to over 180 international destinations. Whether you're coming from London, Dubai, or Buenos Aires, you're likely to pass through New York. This isn't just a place on the map, it's the heart of the world. Coming up next, we'll walk through the neighborhoods that make this city breathe, from Manhattan's electric energy to the vibrant soul of Brooklyn. Ready? Let's go. What makes New York City truly magical isn't just its skyline, it's the people who live beneath it. Did you know that over 800 languages are spoken here daily? That makes New York the most linguistically diverse city on Earth. From Bengali in Queens to Russian in Brighton Beach, and Spanish in Washington Heights, the city doesn't just welcome cultures, it becomes them. Let's break it down. New York City is made up of 5 unique boroughs, each with its own heartbeat. There's Manhattan, the shimmering center of ambition. It's home to Wall Street, Central Park, and the iconic Empire State Building, where power suits share sidewalks with artists and poets. Cross the East River and you'll land in Brooklyn, once gritty, now gloriously hip. From the vintage charm of Williamsburg to the historic brownstones of Park Slope, Brooklyn pulses with creativity and soul. Next stop, Queens, the melting pot of America. It's here that you'll find Flushing, where the Chinese Lunar New Year is celebrated with lion dances and lanterns lighting the streets. Or Jackson Heights, where the aroma of samosas and empanadas fills the air. Then there's the Bronx, birthplace of hip-hop and home to the legendary Yankees. It's got grit, pride, and a strong sense of community. And finally, Staten Island, the city's quietest borough. A ferry ride offers stunning views of the skyline and Statue of Liberty, while Staten Island itself offers greenery, beaches, and family charm. Life here moves fast, but not always. One moment, you're rushing through Grand Central, 8:30 a.m. The next, you're sprawled out on the grass in Central Park, watching the clouds drift by. And in true New York style, cultures don't just live side by side, they mingle. You might join a Greek festival in Astoria, attend a Caribbean carnival in Crown Heights, or stumble upon a Ukrainian Easter parade in the East Village, all in the same week. In New York, every block is a passport stamp. Every neighborhood is a new world, and every day is a cultural adventure. Coming up next, the landmarks that define this city. You've seen them in movies, but now, we'll uncover what makes them truly unforgettable. If cities had a greatest hits album, New York City would be a double platinum. This is the place where landmarks aren't just admired, they're etched into global imagination. Let's start with the queen of them all, the Statue of Liberty. Standing tall since 1886, she's more than metal and stone. She's the enduring symbol of freedom and new beginnings. A ferry ride to Liberty Island offers not just postcard views, but a powerful reminder of the dreams that built this city. Next up, Times Square, love it or hate it, there's no ignoring it. Neon lights, giant screens, and a million people from a million places. It's loud, chaotic, and unforgettable, especially at night when the entire city seems to glow. Then there's Central Park, the green heart of Manhattan. Spanning over 840 acres, it's where New Yorkers jog, picnic, skate, propose, and perform. Imagine rowing a boat across the lake, horse carriages trotting past, and street musicians adding their soundtrack to your stroll. Of course, you can't miss the Empire State Building, once the tallest in the world, now an eternal icon. The view from the 86th floor, breathtaking, especially at sunset, when the city turns golden. And what's New York without Broadway? Whether you're into classic musicals like The Lion King, bold new dramas, or jaw-dropping revivals, Broadway is where theater dreams come alive. Even a walk through the theater district feels electric. Museum lovers, you're in for a treat. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, home to over 2 million works, from ancient Egyptian treasures to Renaissance masterpieces. The Museum of Modern Art, Picasso, Warhol, Van Gogh, all under one roof. The American Museum of Natural History. From giant dinosaur skeletons to a life-size blue whale, it's a playground of discovery. But here's the secret most guidebooks skip, New York's hidden gems. Walk the High Line, a former elevated train track turned into a floating urban park where gardens, art installations, and skyline views merge. Hop on the Roosevelt Island Tramway, a cable car that glides over the East River for the price of a subway ride. Wander through Dumbo in Brooklyn for jaw-dropping views of the Manhattan Bridge framed like a movie scene, especially at sunset. In New York, sightseeing isn't a checklist, it's a lived experience. Every corner hides a surprise, every moment feels cinematic. Next, we'll dive into the secrets and surprises of the city, the facts that even locals don't always know. Think again. This city is packed with secrets, the kind that even lifelong New Yorkers might walk past every day without noticing. Let's start underground, way underground. Beneath the streets of Manhattan, in a heavily guarded vault, lies one of the largest reserves of gold in the world. Yes, New York City has its own gold vault, buried deep beneath the Federal Reserve Bank on Wall Street. Over 500,000 gold bars, worth hundreds of billions of dollars, rest quietly far below the chaos of traffic and honking cabs. And no, this isn't a Hollywood script, it's real. And speaking of what lies beneath, did you know that New York is built on some of the strongest bedrock on the planet? That's right, it sits on a foundation of Manhattan schist, a dense, ancient stone perfect for supporting those towering skyscrapers. That's why you see so many of them clustered in Midtown and Lower Manhattan. It's literally the geology of ambition. But wait, it gets more mysterious. Beneath the shiny subway system we know today are a maze of abandoned tunnels, lost stations, and ghost platforms. Places like the old City Hall station, once grand, now sealed off and frozen in time, where chandeliers still hang, untouched by the years. Some say you can still catch a glimpse if you stay on the 6 train past its final stop, but only if you know where to look. And then there are the speakeasies, secret bars that date back to Prohibition. Tucked behind phone booths, hidden staircases, or even inside hot dog joints. These hush-hush hangouts serve craft cocktails and a dose of history, because in New York, everything old is new again, and everything new is just waiting to surprise you. So next time you walk the streets of Manhattan, remember, beneath your feet and behind closed doors, another city exists. Coming up, we explore the city's most flavorful adventure, the food. From $1 pizza slices to 5-star feasts, New York's palate is unmatched. The food is more than fuel, it's identity, history, rebellion, and most of all, flavor. Step outside, and you're greeted by a scent that defines the streets: sizzling halal carts, warm pretzels, and the unmistakable aroma of a classic New York hot dog. These aren't just snacks. They're survival tools for locals and culinary snapshots for visitors. But the real war, it's not between rival chefs, it's between boroughs. Welcome to the great pizza debate. Is it the thin, foldable Manhattan slice, crisp just right for that lunchtime grab-and-go? Or the Brooklyn brick oven masterpiece, with a chewy crust and smoky edges, best enjoyed under fairy lights in a backyard pizzeria? There's no right answer, only delicious ones. Now let's talk international flavor. This city doesn't serve ethnic food. It lives it. Little Italy still wafts with garlic, marinara, and romance, best experienced with a glass of wine and some Sinatra in the background. In Chinatown, you can get handmade dumplings for the price of a coffee and discover bakeries that never sleep. Head to Koreatown on 32nd Street. It's only 1 block long, but it's packed with barbecue joints, karaoke bars, and neon-lit dessert cafes. Jackson Heights in Queens is where the world truly meets your plate, from Nepali momo to Colombian arepas, all in the same food crawl. And here's the New York twist. It doesn't matter if you're spending $1 or $100, the city feeds you with flair. On one corner, you've got a $1 pizza slice, so greasy and glorious it needs 2 napkins, just blocks away. A Michelin-starred restaurant where a single dish could change your life, and maybe your bank balance too. In New York, food isn't just about taste. It's about stories, immigrant dreams, family recipes, and late-night cravings. Every bite comes with a side of culture. Up next, we shift from flavor to finances. Let's break down what it really costs to live in the city that never sleeps. You've fallen in love with New York. But before you pack your bags, let's talk about what it really costs to live in the city that never sleeps. First things first, rent. The average 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. Expect to pay around $4,000 a month. Even in outer boroughs like Brooklyn or Queens, you're still looking at $2,500 to $3,500, depending on the neighborhood. It's steep, no doubt, but salaries also tend to follow suit. A mid-level job in finance, media, or tech can fetch $80,000 to $120,000 per year, and freelancers or creatives often juggle multiple gigs to make it work. When you factor in groceries, transportation, healthcare, and those occasional Broadway splurges, living comfortably in NYC can easily require $100,000 plus annually per person. So how does it compare to other global cities? London. Very similar, especially in central London neighborhoods. Los Angeles, slightly cheaper on rent, but add in the car culture and traffic stress, and it evens out. But nowhere else gives you this blend. A walkable city where the world meets you at your doorstep. Now, if you're an expat or digital nomad, New York can be both thrilling and overwhelming. Good news. There are pockets of the city that feel like home, wherever you're from. Astoria in Queens for Greeks and Balkans. Sunset Park in Brooklyn for Latin American and Asian communities. Harlem for creatives and community-minded culture seekers. Bushwick and Williamsburg for digital nomads chasing coffee shops with Wi-Fi and exposed brick walls. But let's be honest, living like a New Yorker isn't for the faint of heart. Pros, the energy is contagious. You're never far from inspiration, opportunity, or incredible food. Everything you need is usually a short walk or train ride away. Cons, the noise, the crowds, and yes, the rent. Tiny apartments that cost more than small castles elsewhere. And the hustle, always the hustle. Yet somehow it works. Because in New York, you're not just surviving, you're part of something bigger, faster, and endlessly alive. Up next, we'll navigate that legendary subway map and decode how to move around like a local, or at least look like one. If you can navigate New York City's transport system, congratulations, you can survive just about anywhere. At the heart of it all is the NYC subway, a 24/7 lifeline that runs through 472 stations across 5 boroughs. It's the largest subway system in the world by number of stations, and yes, it can be overwhelming at first. But once you get the hang of it, it's pure magic. Whether you're catching the 4 train to Yankee Stadium, the L to Brooklyn, or the F train to Coney Island, the subway is your best friend, and sometimes your greatest mystery. You'll see business people next to buskers, tourists next to TikTokers, and the occasional saxophone solo echoing down a tunnel. Pro tip for tourists: grab a Metro card for unlimited 7-day rides or try Omni, the newer tap-and-go system using your phone or card. And yes, Google Maps is your compass, trust it, especially when you're unsure if you're heading uptown or downtown. But the subway isn't the only way to get around. Walking is practically a sport here. Bring comfy shoes and prepare for 20,000 plus steps a day. Biking has exploded in popularity thanks to City Bike, the city's bike share program. Ride shares like Uber and Lyft are everywhere, but surge pricing during peak hours can make your wallet cry. Then there are the legendary yellow cabs, still iconic, still everywhere, still faster if you hail them the old school way. Just raise your hand confidently and hope the light is on. Need to get in or out of the city? You've got 3 major airports. JFK International Hub with direct flights to every continent except Antarctica. LaGuardia, recently renovated, great for domestic routes. Newark, technically in New Jersey, but just a short train ride from Manhattan. And here's a secret: if you land at JFK, skip the taxi line. Take the air train to the subway. It's cheaper, often faster, and gives you instant local cred. In New York, getting lost is part of the charm. But every wrong train, wrong turn, and reroute becomes part of your story. Next up, we'll take you through the seasons, festivals, and once-in-a-lifetime events that make NYC truly unforgettable. New York City doesn't just live through the seasons, it celebrates them. And if you time your visit right, you'll find yourself in the middle of something unforgettable. Let's begin with the most famous party on Earth, New Year's Eve at Times Square. Every December 31st, over 1 million people gather to watch the iconic ball drop, while millions more tune in from around the world. There's music, confetti, celebrities, and yes, the temperature often drops below freezing. But the energy, electric. Next, there's a tradition as American as apple pie, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Giant balloons of beloved characters float through Manhattan, from Snoopy to Spider-Man, cheered on by families wrapped in scarves, holding hot cocoa. It's whimsical, nostalgic, and utterly New York. When summer rolls around, the city becomes one big open-air stage. Enter Summer Stage in Central Park, a free concert series that draws international acts and local legends. From jazz and hip-hop to dance and indie rock, it's where art meets nature under the open sky. But don't underestimate the quieter magic of the seasons. In spring, cherry blossoms bloom across Brooklyn Botanic Garden, painting the paths pink. In fall, the trees in Riverside Park and Central Park turn fiery gold and amber, the perfect backdrop for long walks and cozy cafes. And winter? That's when NYC transforms into a holiday postcard. Ice skating at Bryant Park, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, and snowflakes dusting brownstone stoops. It's pure cinematic charm. So when is the best time to visit? The answer is anytime. Because every season in New York brings its own rhythm, its own colors, and its own story. Next up, we'll talk about the insider tips that make a traveler feel like a local, the cultural do's and don'ts that can make or break your experience. Before you dive headfirst into the New York experience, there are a few things you should know, because in this city, etiquette isn't optional, it's essential. First, and this one's big: walk with purpose. New Yorkers are fast walkers. Sidewalks are like highways here. If you stop suddenly, take a photo in the middle of the lane, or walk 3 abreast, you're going to get the look, or worse, a hey, move it. So if you need to pause, step to the side. Think of it as merging into a slow lane. Now let's talk about tipping, something many international visitors overlook. In New York, tipping isn't just polite, it's expected. Servers, bartenders, baristas, cab drivers, hotel staff all rely on tips to make a living wage. The golden rule: 15% minimum, 20% if you're happy, and more if the service went above and beyond. Leave change behind in coffee shops and round up in ride shares. It's part of the city's rhythm, dance to it. If you're taking the subway, and you should, avoid rush hour unless you're into human sardine simulations. That's 8 to 10 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. on weekdays. Trains are packed, platforms are shoulder to shoulder, and patience wears thin. Travel just outside those hours, and the city opens up to you. And here's a golden nugget: the best seasons to visit. Spring, when the parks are blooming and the air feels new. Or fall when the city glows with golden leaves and cozy energy. Skip the dead heat of July unless you enjoy subway stations that feel like saunas. And unless you love crowds, December can be a holiday wonderland and a human traffic jam. Final tip: act like a local, stay curious like a traveler. You'll blend right in and discover the kind of New York most tourists never see. Coming up, we wrap up your whirlwind tour with a heartfelt question: is NYC worth it? Let's reflect on everything we've seen. It's overwhelming, it's inspiring, it's chaotic, it's beautiful. It's a place that moves fast and demands that you move with it. A place where ambition is airborne, where dreams are tested daily, and where the skyline reminds you that anything is possible. But here's the truth: New York isn't for everyone. Some fall in love at first sight. Others find it noisy, gritty, too much, too fast. And that's exactly what makes it so unforgettable. Would you live here, shoulder to shoulder with 8.5 million neighbors, sharing subways, sunsets, and the occasional slice of pizza at 2 a.m.? Or is it one of those places you visit once in a lifetime, soaking in its energy before heading home with stories for years? Either way, New York changes you, because this city isn't just a destination. It's a mirror. It shows you who you are. It challenges you to dream bigger, speak louder, walk faster, and think freer. Let's recap: why is NYC so unforgettable? Its streets hold history and possibility in equal measure. Its neighborhoods are worlds within a world, each telling a different story. Its food, a global buffet served on every corner. Its culture, a non-stop performance of art, struggle, and reinvention. And its people, the heart and soul, tough, passionate, diverse, and fiercely alive. Whether you're here for a week, a year, or forever, one thing's for sure: New York stays with you long after you've left. What would your first stop in New York City be? Would you head straight to the top of the Empire State Building? Stroll through Central Park with a coffee in hand? Or get lost in the lights of Times Square just to feel that rush? Have you ever dreamed of standing there, right in the heart of it all, watching yellow cabs zoom by and feeling like you're in your own movie? We want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. Maybe you've visited already, maybe it's on your bucket list, or maybe you're still deciding if New York is worth the hype. Let's build a community of explorers who don't just travel, but who seek connection, culture, and the feeling of being somewhere bigger than ourselves. And if you loved this journey through the Big Apple, like, comment, and subscribe, because we're just getting started exploring the world, one wonder at a time. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and never stop exploring.